Hello, my witches and wizards. This is Professor Rowan. I'm coming to you today to say I support Constance Pickering. To a point. Does that make me the bad guy? The reason that I say I support Constance is because I'm behind her general premise. I don't believe that anyone should have to live in the closet, whether that be the sexuality closet, the cupboard under the stairs, or the broom closet. In fact, now that I think about it, Osseo on the nose. Well, it was on the nose. Here you have it. Proof of what I'm talking about. And if you think I bought this t-shirt just for this event, might I point out to you my previous videos? You haven't been paying attention in class. Constance is doing something that I feel all good antagonists have. That belief that they are not the bad guy. However, they get their execution wrong. Really wrong. For example, let me talk about, for a moment, the movie The Kingsman. If you haven't seen this, beware of spoilers. In the movie The Kingsman, I am 110% behind the premise of Samuel L. Jackson's bad guy. Climate change is real, it's a problem, and we gotta do something about it yesterday. And if you think that this is a new point of view for mine, you should also check out my previous videos where we're talking about the fires and the freezing and all the other things that keep happening in Oregon because of climate change. Samuel L. Jackson's character, his premise, I am 100% behind. His execution is completely bogus. For someone who has such a far-thinking, forward-thinking point of view, he doesn't think at all past his execution, which ended up being his actual physical execution, but that's regardless of the point. His point of view is to pull a Thanos and kill a ridiculous amount of population. It sounds like in the storyline of that show, in fact, that he's going further than Thanos and going for more than 50%. But he doesn't think about some basics, like, he's saving the wrong people. Yes, he saved a bunch of people who are rich and powerful, but do any of those people know how to properly shut down a nuclear power plant now that there isn't going to be the staff to run it? Or do all of those people know how to bake bread, make bacon, make chocolate? If it's a world without bread, bacon, or chocolate, I'm not interested in it. The intense amount of money and time that his character had to put into researching the mass murder SIM cards, producing the mass murder SIM cards, sending them out to most of the people on the planet, that money and time could have been spent on other things that could actually make a significant difference. Now there are actual organizations doing actual things to help actually fight climate change, like 350.org, who works on getting corporations to stop investing in fossil fuels, keep it in the ground. And Sea Trees, which is working on rebuilding the kelp forests and mangrove forests, because trees, like that green barrier in the water, is actually a really good carbon sink. But I digress. So as I totally am behind Samuel L. Jackson's premise, I think his execution is flawed. And because he didn't follow through in his thinking, he ends up getting executed. I'm afraid that Constance is the same way. She has a decent idea. I don't think wizards should be living in hiding. I don't think we need to hide from our neighbors. I don't think we need to have a completely separate currency. I don't think that we should be separate communities when we live in the same communities. But for that, I need to have a bit of a discussion with my life mate. One moment. The idea was right. However, the way she's going about it is...
The execution is...
really off. Mm-hmm. Because she's trying to get wizards out in the open by endangering a bunch of people.
As far as the end goal that she says that she has, which is to... The wizarding world is no longer in the closet.
Yeah.
100% agree with. I wish fear didn't guide this world as much as it does.
I'm 100% behind you on that. Yeah. So she said that she took over this secret society. Secretly took over a secret society.
Secretly took over a secret society. That's
so that, yeah, it is. So that she could use it to cause the wizards to come out. Do you think she could have used her secret society to cause everybody to come out in a more positive way or in a better way?
She's trying to put wizards out there in the world in a positive light by making the world see something worse.
Okay, so we're out there saving them.
Exactly.
Okay.
So, in other words, it's like, of course there are wizards in this world, or of course wizards have shown up. Look at all these fantastical and terrible beasts that are out there that they have to come and help us with because the muggle cannot do anything about.
Yeah.
So I see, in that way, I'm like, okay.
So she's
if
making
that's
her own foil.
Narrative in her own, in her mind.
In her mind.
Yeah. If that's her nobody's the bad guy narrative. Mm-hmm. I see where she would think that is good. Mm-hmm. But there's always going to be that, well, it's convenient that those all showed up right around the same time that the wizards showed up. It's almost like they put those out there so that they could be the heroes of their own story. Yeah. And that's exactly what it is. Mm-hmm. And if she doesn't want secrecy, then she has in herself created a secret that cannot be told, or else everything that she is hoping for is undone. Yeah. Because the minute somebody shows that, oh no, wizards have been around for years, for millennium, since the dawn of time.
Since humans walked the earth, magic-using humans have walked the earth with us.
Then you've completely undone it, because it's like, well, they were kept in secret until this point. Well, what made that? Well, we had to, because this one person decided that for the betterment it did this. And then it completely changed the narrative, and that's not helpful. Yeah, no. Usually secret organizations attempting to rule or control do it through fear. Yeah. And she's going down that same path again. Yeah.
Well, my argument was that there are some secret societies that have been able to do good while being a secret society. Yes. Like the Underground Railroad and the French Resistance during World War II.
Yes. And what I countered with this is that with both those groups, the whole point of their secrecy, their intent was never to come out. Mm-hmm. But their intent was to protect. And the reason they came out is because that need had dissipated enough that it was safe to show how they did survive at that time. Yeah.
And we wouldn't know about them
if we were still needing to, unless you were part of.
Yeah. They were secret because the law was unjust.
Yes.
And so in order to be able to help people, they had to skirt the unjust law. Mm-hmm.
And I think we're at a point in society that regardless, there's going to be backlash of wizards coming out. Yeah. The thing is the big question I have always had with this is it's a convenient plot device. Mm-hmm. It's convenient to say, well, it's for the betterment that we keep this secret with anything that you're keeping a secret from. Yeah. Like the world can't handle the truth of this matter. Yeah. Is something that's said with everything. Can't handle the truth of aliens. Can't handle the truth of wizards. Can't handle the truth of insert item here. Yeah. And that's one or a small group of people thinking they know best for the rest of the world.
Which I can kind of see their point, because humans individually are intelligent creatures, but humans in a large group are friggin' morons and dangerous in their pitchfork
mob
carrying
mentality.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I have never been, and you have never been either, and this is something I proclaim in training. When I train my young magizoologists to make sure they don't have their arm bitten off.
Very important.
Very, very important. Yes. I train them that I don't want a monkey press the button type of employee. I don't want somebody who just walks the line. I want somebody to ask the question, why? The why is not being discussed, and that is a very important thing.
We've talked about how the antithesis of fear is knowledge.
Yes.
So in order to defeat fear, you need to have knowledge. And disseminating knowledge is very important for that. That's how any group that's gone for a more positive outlook in the world has been able to do so, by getting people to realize, hey, we're not monsters. We're just regular everyday people who want to live their normal lives.
Yeah.
But
that knowledge is also tricky, because if you want this knowledge to be out there for anybody to be able to take in and learn, that means also the people who are ruled by fear, who are going to look at that knowledge and hunt for ways to use it against that same group.
The people who hate change.
Yes.
Change
the thing
is uncomfortable.
Change is, for some. But that same change that makes you slightly uncomfortable because now you have to have a different perspective on things, for somebody else is life-changing.
Yeah.
And can you bear a little discomfort for life-changing safety and community for others? I think that's important. You do. Yeah. I mean, if nothing else this past 2 years is dealt with, it's like you kind of just have to roll with it and go with it and learn how to deal with the new normal. So this is just a learning to deal with the new normal. And I'm not saying you can't be frustrated and you can't be out of your wits for a little bit.
Yeah.
But that you also need to step back and just be like, okay, what has this actually done to me?
How am I affected?
How am I affected? Yeah.
Like the people who are against the trans rights.
Yes.
We've talked about this before.
Mm-hmm.
There are people who are very against it, and I don't understand why, because it doesn't affect them in any way.
Yeah.
It's like, I can understand if it was affecting you in some way, but there's no way that it is. So why do you care?
Because it's different.
Yeah.
And again, fear change. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never understood hate driving, being a driving force in people's, like, people who, like, there are so many things I love in this world that if I'm going to get a bumper sticker for my car, even just something as simple as that, why would I choose to get a bumper sticker of something I hate and plaster it on my car, as opposed to finding one of something I love? I've never got that. When you hate something so much, you decide to spend your own money to continue the hate. So to me, if I was going to bring the Wizarding World to out today, I would show them how the Wizarding World has always been here.
Yeah, yeah.
Because
let them have the knowledge that we have been your neighbors since day one.
Yeah, that would be the first step for me.
Yeah.
So everybody's like, oh my god, look at all these things that have happened because the Wizarding World came out. It's like, the Wizards have been here since the beginning of time, and nothing's happened yet. Just like there have always been trans people, and the world hasn't fallen apart yet. So
yeah. So a better way to come out to the no-mages would be to increase community, let your neighbors know, let them guess, get people to see what's going on in the world, and then slowly introduce the knowledge that we have always been here. We're not a surprise.
Yeah. You're going to always have to face the people who don't believe you.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. I mean, if the information is out there and easily attainable, then you just have to rely on the ones who do the research.
Mm-hmm.
To help guide the way.
Yeah.
To make the reports, so to speak.
I love you.
So, in conclusion, my jellyfish.
So, in conclusion, while we agree with Constance's stated premise,
yes,
we don't necessarily agree that that's actually her reasoning, but you know,
if taking her at face value.
If that's her stated premise, we agree with it. We don't think she went about it the correct way.
Right.
If you find these videos helpful, please like, subscribe, share. It really does help us out. Also, thank you so much to our patrons, because you guys help make our general crazy life possible. If you would like to help us out, you can either join our patrons or you can purchase us a jittery beverage, such as the one he's been drinking this entire time.
I am an acolyte of Slurpee.
Through the descriptions below.
So if you want more of Rowan Reports, join Monday nights between 5 and 7 p.m. on Twitch, where she streams. She can join the Night Bus with her, or just any other game that we might play.
And we have a good time being generally silly. And also, on Thursdays, on Balsamic Games Twitch, I am in the Itty Bitty Kitty committee of Children of Midnight games. We're doing some beta testing for an RPG, and we're having a really good time. That's on Thursdays, also at 5 p.m. Pacific time. And finally, my witches and wizards, in all of this crazy, make sure you are staying safe. And that means to keep your eyes peeled, your ears open, and your wands ready.
And your Mew Mews close.